Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Rodriguez. This is a video for Algebra 1A for the quiz for Chapter 4, okay? So this is a practice quiz that can be found in your textbook on page 246. Now, I'm just selected the questions that are most closely related to the questions that you're going to see on the quiz. I also included a couple of additional problems that are very similar to the ones that are going to be on your quiz, but I couldn't find one that was in the practice test, so I wanted to make sure you guys saw those types of problems as well. Okay, so what I recommend that you do as you're watching this video is when you see the problem, I suggest you pause the video, try to solve the problem on your own, and then play the video, and then watch my explanation and see if you have the correct solution. And if you do, then move on to the next one. If not, then see if you can identify your mistake. If not, put a little star there. You can email me or call me or come see me in my office hours, and I'll be happy to help you figure out what the mistake was, okay? And then go on to the next problem and do the same thing, okay? So I'm really hoping these videos are beneficial for you guys, and they'll help you be more prepared for the quizzes, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So once again, this is for Algebra Chapter 4 quiz review, and this is a practice test on page 246 of your textbook, okay? So first thing is that you have to know slope-intercept form. Okay, you should know that by now. Y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And if you have the slope and the y-intercept, you can graph a line. You just need 2 points to graph a line, okay? All right, so first problem, I believe this is number 1 on the practice test or practice quiz. It says to write an equation in slope-intercept form for the total rental cost C for a pontoon boat used for T hours, okay? So it says to write it slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b, but it wants you to use C for the cost, okay, and T for hours, okay? So it says it's $60 per hour plus the cleaning fee, okay? So the cost is going to equal $60 per hour, okay? Oops, sorry, it says to use T for hours, $60 times T, okay, plus the $20 cleaning fee, okay? So that would be C is equal to 60T plus 20, okay? So it just asks you to write the equation in the slope-intercept form. You do not need to solve or anything like that. All right, now the next form you need to know is the points slope form. This is y minus y1 is equal to m, and then parentheses x minus x1, okay? And this is useful when you're given the slope and one of the points on a line, and then you can substitute the information into the point slope form, and then you can solve the equation and isolate y, and then you have it in slope-intercept form, okay? All right, so it says to write an equation of the line with the given conditions, okay? So it gives you a point and the slope. So you're going to use the point slope form, okay? Big clue there. All right, so remember that's y minus y1 is equal to m, and then x minus x1, okay? So this is your x1 value, and this is your y1 value. So this is y minus y1, which is -1, is equal to the slope we told you is 1/2 x minus x1, which is -3. Okay, and then we can simplify here. Y minus y1, well, that becomes y plus 1. You add the opposite, and then we distribute the 1/2 here. So this is going to be 1/2 x. Now here, if you add the opposite, it ends up being positive 3. So 1/2 of 3 is 3/2. And then we need to get y isolated, so we would subtract 1 from both sides, and we would get 1/2 x 3 over 2 minus 1 is equal to 1/2. Okay, so y is equal to 1/2 x plus 1/2. Okay, and that is your equation. Okay. All right. So here it says to write an equation of the line with the given conditions. Now here you are given 2 points, right? Well, if you need the point. If you have 1 point already, all you need is a slope, and then you can use the point slope form, right? So to find the slope, remember that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so I have y2, which is 12, minus y1, which is 4, and then x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is negative 3. So then 12 minus 4 is 8, and then 1 minus negative 3, remember you add the opposite, so 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now we know the slope is 2, and we also have a point, right? We have 2 points, so we can just pick one. I'm going to pick the positive one, so I'm going to pick 1, 12. Okay, all right, so now we can use our point slope form to write our equation in slope intercept form. So this would be y minus 12, y1, and our slope is 2, and then x minus x1, which is 1. And so I have y minus 12 is, I distribute over here. So this is 2x minus 2. I need to isolate y, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides. I get y equals 2x plus 10. And I have my equation. Okay. All right. Again, it says I'll write an equation of the line with the given condition. So now this one, we have a point and we have the slope is 0. So we're going to use that point slope form again. And we fill everything in. So y1 is 1, the slope is 0, and then the x1 is 2. So this is y minus 1. We distribute 0 times x is going to be 0, and then 0 times negative 2 is going to be 0. So we have y minus 1 equals 0. We add 1 to both sides, and y is equal to 1. Okay? All right. Let's keep moving here. It says write this equation in standard form. In standard form. Now, standard form, remember, is ax plus by equals c, right? Okay, so we have our equation y plus 3 is equal to 1/2 x minus 5. So first thing we want to do is distribute this 1/2. So we've got y plus 3 is equal to 1/2 x minus 2.5. Okay, so then we want to get x and y on the same side. Okay, so what I would do is I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So then I have y is equal to 1/2 x, and then negative 2.5 minus 3 is negative 5.5. And then I'm going to move my x to the other side of the equation. So I end up with, remember we want x first. Okay, so this would be negative 1/2 x plus y equals, this is negative 5.5. Okay, now when you write an equation in standard form, you cannot have any fractions in the equation. So what we can do is multiply this whole equation by 2. so that this can become a whole number, but also you need to have the value of x be positive. So in order to do that, we would have to multiply by a negative. So we're multiplying by -2, okay? And we multiply that -2 by each term in the equation. So -2 times -1/2 would be positive 1x, okay? Plus, actually would be -2 times y is -2y equals negative times negative is going to be positive, and 5.5 times 2 is 11, okay? So our equation ends up being x minus 2y is equal to 11, okay? So we have the x first, then we have y, we have c over here, and x is not a fraction, or the coefficient in front of x is not a fraction, and it's not a negative either. So this is our final answer, okay? All right, number 16 says, write y plus 4 equals -7, and then in parentheses, x minus 3 in slope-intercept form, okay? So we can distribute that -7. So we end up with y plus 4 is equal to -7x, and negative times negative is positive, and 7 times 3 is 21. And then we can subtract 4 from both sides because we're trying to isolate y, and we have -7x. 21 minus 4 is going to be positive 17. So we've got our slope and our y-intercept, and y is isolated, so it's in slope-intercept form. Okay? Now, word problem, everyone's favorite. It says the band boosters are selling sandwiches for $5 each. They bought $1,160 in ingredients. Write an equation for the profit P made on N sandwiches. Okay? So P is going to be equal to the profit, and then N is going to be equal to the number of sandwiches, right? All right, so the equation, the profit is equal to 5, because there are $5 for each sandwich, 5 multiplied by the number of sandwiches, minus what they spent on ingredients, which was $1,160. So there's our equation, okay? Part B says to graph the equation. So remember, let me write it here for you. P is equal to 5n minus 1,160, okay? Well, notice it's in slope-intercept form, right? So the y-intercept is negative 1,160, okay? So I know these are by increments of 1, but let's say they were by increments of 200. So this would be negative 200, negative 400, negative 800, negative 1,000, negative 1,200, okay? So the y-intercept is a little bit below negative 1,000, okay? And then the slope is 5, right? So you go up 5 over 1, up 5. So you're basically going up this way, okay? Like this, okay? All right, and then part C says to find the total profit if 1,400 sandwiches are sold. Okay, so again, our equation was P equals 5n minus 1,160, and n is the number of sandwiches sold. So we're going to rewrite this with 1,400 in parentheses. And when we multiply 5 times 1,400, we get 7,000. And then, so that's not the profit. You have to subtract your expenses, right? And they spent $1,160 on ingredients. So when you calculate the difference there, it ends up being $5,840. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please call, text, email, or stop by my office hours, and I'll be happy to help. Okay, you have a great day.